time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.
Hey, Talk Labor fans, we're back again, and what a wonderful day. What a wonderful day. We had some great things happen this week, and we're going to tell you some things that you probably don't know about, but we're going to talk about it, because this is Talk Labor. We've had, let me start off by saying that always do the things that we suggest you do, and that is talk about the situation, good, bad, and different. Don't bury your head in the sand and pretend like things don't happen. If it happens, talk about it. If it's good, let us know about it, because we want to hear some good stuff. If it's bad, tell us about it, and maybe we can do some things about it. You can, and the only way you can do it is by talking. If you can't talk about it around people, if you're afraid to open your mouth, come down here, Talk Labor, and we'll get it out for you. I want to commend you for all the work that you've done, especially the community around here in Chicago, because you went and jumped on those aldermen, and man, are they performing now. They finally started standing up and doing what they're supposed to do. You jumped on the mayor, he's performing now. They're doing what they're supposed to do. You got to stay on them though. You can't just hit them one time. You know how it is with your kid, and they go and stick that finger in that socket and you whoop that butt. They're gonna try it again, but you gotta make them understand what is and what isn't right. Remember this, representatives work for you. You don't work for them. They work for you, okay? But now, I got a great lineup for you. We're gonna talk about what's going on with the president and what's really going on with the president and the nomination of the next Supreme Court judge. And we're gonna talk about some of the things that have happened as far as the lawsuit that we filed for the transit workers, and we're going to talk about the auto show. We're going to talk about just some of the things that you're really going to enjoy tonight. We're going to start out with my friend and colleague here, who's my research engineer, and we do a lot of work together. Brother Ronnie Roach. What's up, Ronnie?
Hey, Jerry.
How you feel?
Pretty good.
Man, you look good.
Good.
Your hands real warm, man. You been out in Florida somewhere?
I was trying.
Hey, man. But we've had a pretty good time here. I want to talk about, the first thing we want to talk about, the president. We want to talk about this guy that died, Scalia.
Uh-huh.
And, I don't want to be celebrating, jumping up and down. But I'm not, and I'm going to tell you the truth, and I always do. Am I sad that he's gone? No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because of the positions that he took as far as here in America. This man did not interpret the U.S. Constitution. He was an activist judge. He was a Republican. He went hunting, and he's supposed to have died of natural causes at a quail hunt.
Right.
Okay, tell me what that means, natural causes, Roach. Maybe you know what I mean.
Natural causes?
Yes. What was
die. You get old and die.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with you. Just stop.
Hard to stop.
Yeah.
But look, let me say this though. Some of the Republicans are saying that the president had him killed. That he was murdered.
Yes,
he murdered him so he could choose another Democratic judge. I'm not lying. This is on television. They had films of people talking about he had him killed.
Well,
that's conspiracy theories.
Uh-huh. Well, you remember when you and I had a discussion once,
Mm-hmm.
and I made the statement: it's better to be thought of a fool than to speak and remove all doubt.
So that's what you're trying to say these people were doing? But Ronnie, it's only a conspiracy. Well, this is conspiracy. But look, I want to be a conspiracy theorist myself.
Okay.
Can I tell you what my theory is?
Uh-huh.
He died.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, he did.
He didn't die of natural causes.
No, he didn't.
I think he was at a brothel house.
Yeah, taking that Blue Diamond.
He was taking that Blue Diamond. He took too many.
took too
This is what I'm saying. I don't know now. I could be wrong.
Could be.
I could be wrong. It could be just a theory.
That's right.
But let's add 2 and 2. Okay.
Make 4 though.
Now
Don't make 3.
they said that when he died, he had a pillow over his head. Well, isn't that suspicious? Should somebody be concerned about that and investigate? But they said no. We're not going to do an autopsy. Why are they not doing an autopsy, Roach? You think they might find the blue diamond? They might find that blue diamond that he lost.
They gonna find it.
Why did the family say hide it? Hide it.
Tell me the Supreme Court justice, when he go anywhere, don't he have bodyguards like the president?
He always.
But it was brought to my attention that he didn't have no bodyguards. No bodyguards, nothing, nowhere.
They want no bodyguard.
No, they want nobody peeping through the keyhole.
This is my conspiracy now. And I could be wrong. I could be right.
Yeah, you could be.
But I know if
probably
listen,
right than wrong.
if that was my daddy or my granddad,
I
I
wanna
want to
know.
what happened. Tell me what happened. But they said, that's okay. You don't have to have an autopsy. No, that's all right.
But you died on a quail hunt with a pillow over your face.
Okay, all right. We're going to move
Okay.
on. We're going to move on.
right.
But, they talk about some of the things the president hasn't done. He hasn't done this and he hasn't done that. And it just eats me up because this man has done so much. He's done so much for labor till, not just labor, but for this country till, I don't understand this. The president, some black people say, well, he haven't done enough for us as black people. He hasn't done the right thing for black people for this country. People got to understand that President Barack Obama is the president of the United States. That means he's the representative of all people. I think he's done a fantastic job, And I think that we got to get off of that old, he haven't done this for us, and we got to get up and do some things for ourselves, okay? This president's done, I just ran across maybe 100 and maybe 50 things that the president's done since he's been in here, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, Ronnie.
Okay.
He's done things like, he signed the Let Better Act, the Let Better Act where, women are not getting, they're not getting equal pay for the equal work.
Right.
And they had a limitation on what women can, what time they can file suit for it, and, things like that. President, he got rid of all that. What do you think about that?
I think it's excellent, and I think it brought to my attention that he's also passed a bill that would give these college kids that all this money, what do you call it?
Pell Grants?
No, when you had to pay back student loans.
Student loans, okay.
They're giving some leeway with the student loans,
And also he increased the Pell Grants so that they can get that. It's the education, that's the main thing. People got to understand that. We got to stop with that. We got to stop with that, what the president ain't doing. Now, everybody loves him. Everybody I know loves him, black and white. You know why I know they love him? They elected him twice.
That's right.
And both times a landslide.
And he would elect him a third time if they could figure out how to do it.
Well, they say that if you vote for Hillary Clinton, you're electing Barack Obama the third time. Right. Let's get out there, folks.
Let's vote.
Let's put Obama back in there again. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Okay, it's just so many things that this president's done for this country. I mean, he got the boys and girls out of Iraq, the war. The invasion.
Right.
That's what it was. He give you affordable health care. You remember when the auto industry was going belly up? Who saved them?
He did.
The president. The president did. This no ax, no tell.
Right.
Get rid of all this. Don't ax, don't tell. I got it. Don't ax, don't tell.
Right.
He even reached out to make sure that we get some kind of relief for the immigrants here. He passed a DREAM Act. I mean, he did that with his executive powers. And they're trying to challenge that in court. Now, they're trying to say that the president doesn't have a right to nominate a person for the Supreme Court.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Who nominated Clarence Thomas?
George Bush.
Oh.
Okay. Well, their claim is that, well, you know, he's in his last year, so he should nominate, and the people should get a chance to decide who the next Supreme Court justice is. They should make that decision. The people made that decision when they elected President Barack Obama. He's still the president. They elected him because of that. But these guys who says, we got to live, and he's violating the Constitution, and we got to live by the Constitution, they don't give a damn about the Constitution, because the Constitution tells you what you do in a situation like that. The president nominate, you come in and you give your advice and consent.
Well, why weren't we allowed to choose Scalia, Clarence Thomas, and a few others?
Well, their version is that who the next president should be coming in, and the people would make that decision, and it's just some crazy numbnut stuff. The president's already in office. This is what the Constitution says. The president nominate, and you get up there and you advise and you vote on it. Senate, just the Senate, not the House. And so that's what's going to happen. Whether they like it or not, the president's going to lay it out there. If you want to do that type of thing, that's what you do. You want to show people how you really love your Constitution, but you say, to hell with the Constitution. They already said, we ain't going to vote for nothing. We're not going to do anything. Like little 8-year-old bullies, you know. We're just about sick of them. But I could talk about the president all day, because this guy, I think, what do I always say? Best president that ever set foot in the White House. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true. It is really the truth. But before we proceed to our next subject, Ronnie, let me update people on the lawsuit for the members at ATU 308-241, the management people and the retirees. We were waiting. We were really hoping for the court to give us their ruling on the 19th, not the 18th, but the 19th, which would be tomorrow. But they have decided they're not going to give a ruling, not just on ours. They normally give out a ruling on several. And we were expecting those several to be done tomorrow, hoping that ours would be in with that several. And they usually go by the oldest cases. And our case is number 3 as far as being one of the oldest cases, okay? But they have decided they're going to wait most likely until March. And let me read, this is the information I got. The attorney called me and actually sent me a explained to me exactly what is happening. And I'll read it off to you so you'll understand for yourself. He says, hello, Jerry. It does not appear that the Supreme Court will issue a decision in the case this Friday. The earliest date on which a decision in the case could come down is likely sometime in March. As soon as we learn of the anticipated filing dates for March, we will let you know. Thanks. And it's signed Justin. That's our attorney. He keeps me up to date, you know, in every minute. So, no, it won't be tomorrow, but let's keep our fingers crossed. We're keeping our fingers crossed that they do it in March, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that they rule in our favor. Okay? I still feel very good about this, and we'll see what happens. Okay? Now, and this is to the audience. Did anybody go to the auto show this week? Roach, did you go down to the auto show?
I did.
Did you have any fun? How did you?
I had fun.
You had fun?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was great down there. I ran into a brother of ours, Brother Cliff Kelly.
Yes.
And I also ran into a young man that was one of the hardest young artists out there.
Yeah. That
was performing. That was Mr. T.L. Williams.
I had the opportunity to talk to him for a minute.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you? How was your conversation?
Oh man, excellent. Smart young man.
Oh, okay.
You know, like I always said, there's no other trumpet since Miles Davis.
Oh, okay.
He's tough as I've seen since Miles Davis.
Oh,
and people might not agree.
Yeah.
But you have to have an ear for it to understand it. You know,
oh man. But I tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't we run that first clip and we could see some of the activities that was going on at the auto show.
Randomly drawn. Remember, use hashtag. We have a wonderful gentleman here that I have known for a number of years. He was just great. He is Jerry, a senior.
Yeah.
The original Jerry. The original Jerry. His lovely wife is also here too. Good to see you again, as always. But he is the president and CEO.
Of course, the overs. It's going to be the overs are going to be.
It's always had great food out there.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah.
What's the overs who were?
Yes.
Listen, let me ask you to. People have heard you today. You are a fantastic trumpet player, but you also play other instruments. So talk also about your group, because your group and your singers, everybody's just great.
And you'll definitely hear them live on March 18th as well, the Storm Chaser Orchestra from the beginning, right? And that's important to me, that other people are able to see what I always know about hip hop. It was truly a beautiful performance, a beautiful unapologetic performance.
Even people I know that don't particularly care for hip hop thought that this brought it back. This was something that should have been all the time, and I totally agree with that. I think he really hit it out of the park. Lots of good things there.
So, and T.O., did you think that do you think that with all the tragedy and all of the things that we are seeing, that hip hop is making a turn out of the drill kind of era and starting to make a pivot back into when it was a conscious era?
I mean, I wouldn't even call it a turn, because that is what hip-hop had always intended to do. It was always intended to be a voice of what's going on from the people in the community that was created. That's what
it lost that for a while.
And lost that.
I mean, it got.
Come on, man, we was in the stripper culture.
But you had other entities putting their hand in the and trying to turn hip-hop into something that it wasn't.
Exactly.
So, the purity.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to see.
Again, but I want to make sure everybody knows about this, the event on the 18th. When is going to be there?
First, let me say, the deluxe edition of the T.L. Williams Experience, my album, it includes hits like Getting More Money Than You and All White You. It came out yesterday. So, the deluxe edition of the T.L. Williams Experience hit stores worldwide yesterday. It's everywhere. You can grab that. Now, those songs will be performed March 18th here in Chicago.
You see what I mean about telling the truth? A lot of times, I understand why people get so upset. When you suspend a teacher for showing something like that, she's only telling the truth. She's telling the truth. Don't be afraid and don't be ashamed and don't be guilty that these things happen. Do something about it. I'm talking about if you're white and you feel guilty, do something about it. If you're black and these things are happening to you, do something about it. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're talking about black and white, and I want to show you something. As soon as you come back, you're not going to believe this. When I tell you that these white guys are better than the black guys. I'm going to tell you, man. You got to see this. You got to see this. When we come back from commercial, this is something that's awesome. And I'll say it, white, these guys are white, they've been there better than the black guys. It's something that the black guys are supposed to be better at. We'll be back right after this commercial.
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation to SWAT service, cheetah surveillance, and much more? International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Well, we're back, and as I promised you, we're going to go right into something I think is fantastic. And I got my research engineer back with me, Ronnie Roach. Ronnie.
Yeah.
Now, you ever see the marching band like the Sonic Boom and,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
bam, you know, and you figure like, well, can't no white college compete with these guys, right?
Right.
These drum lines and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I saw some white guys that smoked everybody I've seen, and you're not gonna believe it when you see this. But it's not about white and black, but it's just
Being
me
good.
being a little facetious about that. But they are some very talented people, and I want everybody to see this. So, can you run that that next clip? And that'll be clip number 4, I believe. You gotta see this.
Always fresh and innovative, the top secret drum corps from Basel in Switzerland present the idea of the digital age.
Those were the best drummers I've seen, period. Period.
Yeah.
If anybody want to catch up with them, bro, homie, y'all better get to working.
And they work on other jobs. Them people, they not just drum them.
Right.
Those are grown people that go to work every day.
Go to work every day. But how they percent. You know, when I watched them, I was like, see if somebody drop a stick. You know how it is. Y'all,
Right.
You can't be that perfect. They didn't drop a stick.
Not nothing.
They didn't miss a beat. Ronnie, that's got to be the best drum line
I ever saw.
You know.
That was precision to the bone.
Was the top secret drum corps?
Yeah,
Top
from
secret
Switzerland?
drum corps from Switzerland. Go check that out. Go check that out. But I'm going to leave you with one piece, but before we do that, we want to make sure that you all understand this. What and why you have unions. There was some stuff going on. They're always out to attack your pensions. And I'm talking about people taking away your pensions, the money that you put up. You got people dipping and dabbing into your money, you know, that you put up. And it's been happening ever since I could remember. But you got to fight. Just as we filed that lawsuit, we're in the process of doing some other things to make sure people have a fair, you know, opportunity to retire with dignity and make sure nobody else comes in and take money from them. We're in the process of working on that, and I'll give you updates as we, you know, progress. Right now, we don't want to do that. But before we go, have you ever, like I did this, I ran across a guy that I grew up with, you know, and this guy is always trying to crack jokes when we were little, you know, but nobody laughed at him because he wasn't funny, you know, he wasn't funny at all. But I ran across him, and I ran across some people that know him. Now he's one of the funniest guys in America, and he's one of the top actors in America. You see him a lot on commercials and stuff right now. You really don't know. You don't know that's him. But I've seen him all over the place. His name is Michael Ivey. And we used to hang out together. We played ball together. He was always trying to crack jokes, but he wasn't funny. Okay. But he's funny, man. He's really funny now. So I want people to take a look at this next clip of Mike, and one of his routines. I picked it up some time ago with the clip. I think way back with George Bush and Clinton and all that. But it's a funny clip. So let's run that last clip.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice to be here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's nice to be anywhere almost. It is nice to be here. We have a lot of stuff going. Oh man, I got to tell you, that last election, that presidential election, I was at such a loss. I had no idea who to vote for. Look at the choices we had. Ross Perot, a man who says, well, you know, I'm not going to hire homosexuals or adulterers, which pretty much meant if he was elected, half the people in Washington was out of a job. And then we had Bill Clinton. Now, Clinton, I could have liked this guy if he had came out and said something like, you know, that war in Vietnam, that whole thing was terrible. I did everything I could to make sure I didn't get sent over there. So now I can be elected president and make this an even better country to live in. Sure, we wouldn't believe it, but it sounds better than that stuff he's spitting out. Well, you know, I smoked something 20 years ago, and I didn't like it, and I didn't inhale, so I never tried it again. Yeah, pee on my back and tell me it's raining, okay? Let's face it. You didn't inhale, you didn't smoke. End of story, right? This guy apologized for everything. He apologized for playing golf at an all-white country club. Like somehow we don't know why they call it the Masters Tournament, you know? Like apologizing for slavery. Well, I'm sorry about slavery, but you didn't expect me to pick that cotton, did you? Hey, that's a good point, Bill. I never really thought of it that way. And then we had George Bush. George Bush had a lot of chances to be presidential. There was a big hurricane down in Florida. He flew in like those people didn't already have enough trouble and tried to rename the storm. This hurricane, what the heck's a hurricane? This hurricane was devastating. I declared this a disaster area. Well, folks, I can see that on TV. Do you have to fly all the way down there? I'll save you a lot of money. Elect me president. I'll just flip on CNN. Damn. They took a direct hit. Let's see what the Weather Channel says. I mean, it's like the people who lived there had no idea what just happened. Hey, Billy, you remember when the roof blew off the house? Yeah, and I said, what is this? Apparently it's a disaster. I just couldn't come up with the right word. Thank God for George Bush, huh? I'm afraid we could have used Jesse Jackson in this race, man. That would have added some color at least. And maybe we could have got a couple of new Jackson jokes out of it. Those others were good. Remember 88, those good Jackson jokes like, well, Jesse, what do you think of Beirut? Well, I thought Hank Aaron was a much better ball player, actually. Jesse was born in South Carolina. They said, well, Reverend, any thoughts on Syria? Yeah, I prefer grits myself. Thanks for clearing that up. How about the fence? Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna move a little closer to the house and paint it white. Well, I feel safe already. What about the abortion bill? Already paid that. I am somebody. Yeah, early in the campaign, they were passing out that bumper sticker, run, Jesse, run. And they had to stop. I guess too many people putting it on the front of their cars. Run, Jesse, you better run. Hey, what y'all doing? We going Jesse hunting. How you do that? Just get in the truck, we'll show you. I can't even think about thinking about quail. Know what he said? This guy tried to get my vote by saying, well, you know, I would have been at a disadvantage to debate expensive private schools, and I went to American public schools. That's gonna get my vote? What's he saying? I'm just as stupid as you. I don't know what's happening in this country. I was watching Maury Povich the other day, and I saw these people arguing about this new Jeffrey Dahmer movie that's coming out. What happened with that thing? Wisconsin spent $5 million to discover that Jeffrey Dahmer is sane. Jeffrey Dahmer's sane? Well, let's review. They found heads in the guy's refrigerator. Case closed. I've been in a lot of houses, folks. I looked in a lot of refrigerators. But the next time I open the refrigerator door and see a human head in there, I'm going to go out on a limb. This guy is crazy. You know what really upset me? Thank you. You know what upset me? The neighbors had no idea this was going on. All these people going in that apartment, nobody coming out. But soon as Dahmer went to jail, they remembered, didn't they? Well, you know, we did kind of smell something. For a whole year had smelled something and never told. We thought he might have had dead animals in there. Really? And you didn't look. You look like a pretty normal guy, sir. But if you lived next door to me and I thought you had dead animals in your apartment, I'm telling. You don't have to wait till you see me on TV saying something like, yeah, you know, we used to hear sawing and screaming all time tonight. We just thought it was some kind of carpenter like the word, 3 in the morning. Oh, God, don't cut my leg off. Hey, must be working on that table again. Man, I don't know what's... Oh, did you hear about this? Kid up in New York shot his own mother, mistook her for a deer. Grazing in the backyard. His own mother, his own backyard. Now, it occurs to me if you start out with a story like this, you got to stick with it, right? I'm sure there were some hairy moments at the police station when they tried to get to the bottom of this just to find out that all they really had was a kid who needed to spend some more time with his mother. And when he wasn't with her, they should be showing him pictures of his mother. Okay, Johnny, listen up. This is a picture of your mom. And this, John, this is a photograph of a deer. You notice any difference? Stop fidgeting, son. We'll go over it again. This one here, this is your mom. No, put the gun down, John, please. First of all, what was that woman doing grazing in the backyard? See, that's what I'm thinking. She had been grazing in the dining room like a normal person. This would have never happened. I'd have to be talking about something else now. Later in the article, you know what it said? Neighbors were shocked, but not surprised. What's that mean? They just waiting for something like this to happen? Well, you know that boy was always playing with that gun, and that woman did look a lot like an elf. Yeah, we're waiting for this accident waiting to happen. Then I picked up the newspaper and read about this guy who beat his wife over the head with a frozen squirrel. A frozen squirrel? What do? Keep one in the freezer till you need it? What could make somebody beat a person over the head with a frozen squirrel? I I mean, I get mad at my girlfriend just like everybody else. Well, everybody don't get mad at her, just the people who know her. But you know, I would never beat her over the head with a frozen squirrel. I mean, I thought about it, but I realized after you hit her a couple of times, the squirrel's gonna start to thaw out. It ain't gonna hurt nearly as much. You're gonna beat somebody over the head, use a hammer. You already made the commitment. I mean, come on, a frozen squirrel, bam, 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 bam. Now, cooking, okay. You want gravy? No, somebody asked me the other day, why are there no black people on the United States Olympic swim team? Like I'm supposed to know the answer to a question like that. And what do I look like, the Shell Answer Man? I mean, what does it look like? I just got a lot of answers in my head waiting for people. I hate questions like that. Like when people ask, Mike, be honest. Tell me the truth. What do black people think? What do black people think? I don't know. The meeting's Tuesday. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man, I had to give a shout out to my boy Mike. That guy, we grew up together, and, you know, we knew he went out on tour, but we didn't know he was really as big as he really is, and that's just tremendous, tremendous. It shows that you can do anything that you want to do. That's to young kids, that's to tenured, and then that's to people, no matter what age, you can do whatever you want to do. Mike has proven that. Before we leave, I want to say to the millennials, you know, you all got to have an idea of what you want to do. We don't want to hear you saying we're going to march and we're going to block the highways, and then, okay, once you block them, what are you going to do now? So we want you to have a plan. Have a plan.
Remember, use hashtag GoTyler16. We have a wonderful gathering here.
Let's see if we can have a plan. Fix this. Okay, we're going to have a plan. I want you to have a plan. And that is the plan, the biggest plan you can have is to vote. Folks, get your butts out there and vote.
Yes.
Am I a Hillary Clinton leaning individual? I'll fall over backwards for Hillary Clinton. I don't want to hear that garbage about we don't trust her. This is the only person that's been vetted out there in this whole race. This is the only person that they've actually put on the spot, and she's come up tough and clean every time. Republicans, they want Bernie Sanders because they know that they can drag him through the mud and he's dead. They tried to drag Hillary through the mud and she comes up shining every time. They can't stand that. So they, with their corporate media, try to muddy her up every opportunity you get. They'll tell you that, oh, you know, Bernie Sanders is right neck and neck. Folks, that is a farce, okay? It's not neck and neck. Bernie got some nice ideas, but Bernie, one of the things that bothered me the most about Bernie is his position with the President of the United States. Like I said, this was the best president we've ever had, in my opinion. And for Bernie to, in 2012, try to solicit somebody to run against President Obama, that let me know where Bernie stands. And when Bernie took that stand, when the young people were saying Black Lives Matter, he took a nasty stand, you know, at a speech, at a rally. I didn't like that at all. So it's all about what you've done, not what you tell me you're going to do. Hillary Clinton has done it. She was a senator, and as a senator, she was one of the best senators there. As the Secretary of State, she was one of the best Secretary of States ever. Here's a person that ran a tough race against Barack Obama. And when she lost, she stepped up like a true patriot and said, you know, he said, I really need you. She said, I'm here. And she went out and did what she had to do. So I'm saying to you, get out there and vote. Does it sound like I'm campaigning for Hillary Clinton? Yeah, it sounds like it. But you can't prove it. No, I'm kidding. But next week, we're going to have a special guest on next week. And we want you to be here watching. And keep in mind, we're going to try to keep you up to date every minute on the lawsuit that's filed, because that is a tremendous, tremendous lawsuit. And we want to bring you up to date on pensions. We're going to have a special segment on pensions. We're going to make you aware of that. We'll see you again here next week, and I want to thank my guest, Roddy Roach, for coming on with us.
Glad to be here, Jerry. Always a pleasure.
I get a lot of information from this young man here. And we're going to see you next week at Talk Labor. And remember, folks, keep talking. We'll see you next week.
It's time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.